haven't had very much experience with the paranormal, but the few times that I have, I've been extremely on edge. Such as when I saw a man in the living room of my grandmother's house in the middle of the night, but there was only one of us in the house. But that's a story for another time. Please send that in. There is something at my window. For some context, I like spending all my time indoors, in my room or going out with friends. My room is nice and spacious since we got our house redone quite recently, and everything has been very calm since we moved back in a year and a half ago. However, I recently began hearing some noises by my window. I tend to be one of those people who like to keep their windows open slightly. So hearing noises wasn't unusual. Originally, the noises tended to sound like a slight rustling, which didn't really catch my attention since I just presumed that it was our local robin that usually floats around in our garden. Over the past few weeks, I've been hearing the noise increasingly, but only ever once the sun has set again. I brushed this off as a bird trying to make its nest somewhere in the roofing of the house. However, a couple of days ago, the noise started to sound more like scratching, like nails being dragged across the bricks on the side of my house. I went to check outside the window a couple of times to see if a bird was struggling to make its way to the roof, but I didn't see anything, nor did I hear the scratching anymore. So I brushed it off as paranoia and turned back to face the centre of the room. And once I had, I felt the most intense feeling as though I was being watched. Like, you know, when you can tell that someone's looking at you, just even though your back's turned to them. I just assumed I might be completely crazy and made the entire thing up, because when I turned back around, there was nothing. Just the darkness of the cold late autumn night. Still feeling slightly disturbed, I shut my windows completely and closed my curtains, yet the sounds from outside were still managing to reach me. The next morning, when the sun was up, I opened my curtains to see nothing outside and decided to go ahead with my usual routine of opening my windows. When I got home that night, I'd forgotten all about my troubles from the day before and did some of my usual homework and complained about the amount of coursework I had to catch up on. Then, almost as routine now, I heard it again. The scratching, desperately clawing at my window as though begging to be let in. I'd never heard it so loud before, and when I turned to look outside, I could have sworn I saw the form of a hand dangling just beyond the window. However, the engulfing darkness made it hard to make out anything. As I approached the window and shut it, trying not to make a noise, I heard my mum come home, making me jump and looking away from the hand that was barely a metre away from me. And then I turned back around, expecting to see it, but it was gone. A few nights have gone past now, and the scratching sound hasn't gone away completely, but it has definitely died down. However, tonight, as I write this, the scratching stopped, but was replaced by tapping. Now I will be keeping my windows closed and my curtains down for fear that next time I look outside, I might finally see a finger slowly tapping on my window, or even worse, the face of the person who has been so desperate to be let in. I hope you have some good advice on what I should do, and thank you so much for reading my